Parliament returns in a little under 3 weeks, and when it does, Labor will have an easier time passing laws. That's due to the new makeup of the Senate, which formally begins today. Cameron Redden has a look at what's changed and how it could shape the government's agenda.
Unlike in the House of Representatives, Senate terms don't begin or end on election night. Instead, the changeover happens on the 1st of July. Now, remember, all up, there are 76 senators in the upper house. You need 39, a simple majority, in order to get bills passed. At the end of the last parliament, the government had 26, so that means it needed 13 extra votes to get anything through. Occasionally, they would team up with a coalition and find some common ground, but far more frequently, they had to get all 10 Greens and some combination of the 3 crossbenchers in order to get any legislation through. So that put a lot of power in the hands of David Pocock, of Jackie Lambie, of Fatima Payman to get those extra 3, including the Greens, in order to get bills through. A bit's changed after the election. When the new parliament returns later this month, the pathway will actually be much simpler for the government. It's been helped by the defection of Dorinda Cox from the Greens to Labor. What that leaves the government with is a boost, 29 seats in the upper house. So it just needs 10, a simple 10 from the Greens, to get bills through, to get to that magic number of 39. It does mean that it can ignore the crossbench entirely if the Greens come on board. And numerically, if you add One Nation, who's doubled its hand, to the 6 independents, they could get another way to that magic number of 39, but that does seem rather unlikely. In terms of the notable ins and outs, who's coming and going from the Senate, most of the notable departures are on the coalition side. Leading the line, the Nationals' former deputy leader, Perrin Davey, failing to win back her position. A number of other losses too for the coalition. David Fawcett, Linda Reynolds is retiring. Holly Hughes also got bumped down the list in pre-selection, so she won't be returning. David Van, Jared Rennick, the 2 independents, and Katrina Billick as well from the Labor Party. She has retired. In terms of who's in, some of the new faces for Labor, mostly leading the line, including the former member for Higgins from the lower house. Her seat was abolished, Michelle Ananda-Raja, but she returns to Parliament, this time in the Senate. Also, Charlotte Walker from South Australia, notable for turning 21 on election night. She becomes the youngest senator in Australian history. For the Coalition, Jess Collins replaces Holly Hughes, and for One Nation, they doubled their hand on election night. While it is unlikely to impact many of the votes, they've grown their number from 2 to 4 in the Senate, with Tyrone Whitten in Western Australia and also Warwick Stacey in New South Wales. So those 2 will join Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts on the crossbench, but they're unlikely to impact many votes, given that simple arithmetic for Labor, 29 of its own seats and 10 potentially from the Greens.